It's a rivalry renewed inside of Notre Dame Stadium as number 11 Notre Dame and Stanford hash it out in the Battle of the Legends trophy.
By Samaja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, fire, rocket, touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first, and we know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Landon Traylor, joined by Dylan Kearns, John Richards, and Logan Traylor. We'll start this show in an unusual way as we had a bye week this past week. We'll start with a little Week 6 recapper as we weren't here to, we had no game to recap, so we'll give you our Week 6 recapper right now before we head into this Stanford preview. Syracuse knocks off UNLV on a Friday night overtime thriller, as I don't think a lot of people expected UNLV to hang in there. Put up 41 points without their starting star quarterback. Fantastic performance. Still a top team, I think. Texas A&M blows out Missouri. That resume is starting to really stack up for Notre Dame's favor this season. But boy, Missouri gets embarrassed on the road. That was an embarrassing performance. I don't care how good or bad Texas A&M is. SMU upsets Louisville in Derby City. The Cards have now lost 2 in a row. Might be time to start panicking if you're Louisville right now. You went from an ACC contender, and now you're starting to fall off a little bit. Wisconsin embarrasses Purdue yet again. They fired their offensive coordinator, yet they still could not put up a single touchdown in that ball game. UVA upsets Boston College, and the Cavs are now 4-1 heading into the meat of their schedule, including a November 16th battle against the Fighting Irish coming up, obviously, November. Navy and Army are 5-0. Both are on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish schedule this season. Keep an eye on Navy and Army. First time that Army and Navy is 10-0 since they won a World War in 1945. Pretty cool stat right there. The Indiana Hoosiers are 6-0 for the first time since 1967, and the Hoosiers are riding high in Bloomington right now after a dominating win against Northwestern. Man, they look dominant offensively. Defensively, though, they played what is statistically their worst game of the year. Not really, I don't want to panic here, but not really good to have your worst defensive game against a sloppy Northwestern squad. Nonetheless, they're 6-0. Ohio State has a big second half and ends up blowing the brakes off of Iowa. When are we going to talk about firing Kirk Ferentz? Because this is just the same story on repeat every single year with the Hawkeyes. Vandy knocks off Alabama 40-35 in a thriller. Who would have thought? They haven't beat Bama in my lifetime. That is absolutely insane. Oklahoma State now has 3 straight L's. I am officially putting Mike Gundy on the hot seat in Stillwater. Florida State is now 1-5 in Tallahassee. My, oh my, the problems just continue for Florida State, yet they'll somehow probably put up a game against us. JR's got the slides there. He's putting up free shoe U. Arkansas upsets Tennessee. I was big on this Volunteers team. Hate to see them lose, but man, Sam Pittman, that's a job saver right there in Fayetteville. Washington beats Michigan, and I have never been happier. You have a Michigan coach that's going into the stands and fighting with fans. Man, they're building a really toxic culture there up in Ann Arbor. That's why she's a blank. Minnesota on the brink of their coach's extinction there, they beat USC. They beat USC in Minnesota with P.J. Fleck fighting for his life. I mean, fighting for his life. Wow, row the boat all the way. They knock off the soft USC Trojans. Miami storms back down 25 points and beats Cal 39-38. Cal loses in typical Cal fashion. Texas Tech upsets Arizona in the 11:30 p.m. game, and that was a phenomenal Week 6. It was a little teaser of what I think is the biggest week in college football coming up, but obviously we'll get to that in a little bit. With that being said, Number 11, Notre Dame takes on a longtime rival in the Stanford Cardinal as the Fighting Irish coming off of a bye. And Stanford, folks, as they have since 2019, comes into Notre Dame Stadium as an irrelevant, bad, just a bad, irrelevant team. They're 2-3. They beat Cal Poly 41-7, and they shocked Syracuse 26-24. The Cardinal were beaten by a bad TCU squad 34-27. They were beaten by number 10 Clemson 40-14, and they were hammered last week by a depleted Virginia Tech squad 31-7. Dylan, I'll start with you. This is a really bad Stanford team, almost as bad as when they came into Notre Dame Stadium in 2022 and beat us 16-14.
Yeah, it's sad because we've seen a lot of great Stanford teams play against us in this rivalry. You go back to the Andrew Luck days, and then you look at McCaffrey, and even as far as just a couple years ago, they were a pretty solid team. Now it almost feels, yeah, it almost feels like, to your credit, almost like an irrelevant team coming in now. Now it is still a rivalry game, so I do worry about that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I wish Stanford was still a competent program, but it seems like they've gone downhill each year for the past, I don't know, 5 years. So it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, we got to go to Stanford. Like, you look at the schedule with Notre Dame when it comes out, and you're like, oh, they're in South Bend this year. We got to go see Stanford. Now it's like, all right, yeah, whatever. If this was a good game, it'd be under the lights. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling it.
I really used to get pumped up for this game. 2010, you had Andrew Luck. In 2012, the goal line stand in the rain. 2014, 2018, even 2016, Jeremiah or Love was his name, I think. Yeah, can't remember his first name there. Was it? Is it? Oh man, what was that running back's name? He was
Bryce Love?
Bryce Love. Yes, he filled in for an injured Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, so man, it's just Stanford has fallen off the face of the earth. They fired the only guy who was able to win after Harbaugh, so they're a mess right now. JR, you can tell us a little bit of the history of the Stanford rivalry that really started in the Lou Holtz days.
Yeah, back in the 80s and the 90s, they came in there with Bill Walsh when we were a big favorite, and they knocked us off when in our glory day. Listen, it doesn't really matter how this opponent is. Again, we got to take care of what we take care of. If we don't, we could lose to anybody again.
Right.
The pandemic really seemed to hit Stanford athletics hard, not just the football program, just all of their sports across the board. That really took a toll. Now they're in the ACC. They're trying to find a home. Are they going to go back to the Pac-12? They don't have David Shaw anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this guy, they won at Syracuse. So they've shown the ability to go on the road, travel a far place, go in somebody's house and win and play some decent football. So, again, we're schizophrenic. Who's going to show up? But Stanford, they're going to come in and they're not going to be intimidated by us. They've come in here and beaten us before in plenty of other circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to take care of what we take care of.
Absolutely.
Coming off a bye, we should be okay.
Absolutely, JR. And to your point about Stanford athletics, the only relevant team that Stanford has is women's basketball. They are still a powerhouse. They're joining the ACC. They're going to be playing Notre Dame and Louisville every single year. So that's pretty cool for women's basketball. Good for the sport there. Logan, JR mentioned it. We're coming off of a bye. Quite frankly, there should be no excuse to starting off slow, starting off sloppy, or quite frankly, Logan, dropping this game by any means.
Correct. Agree with everything you just said. Agree with everything JR had said as well. I don't think it's our opponents moving forward after this past week, and I don't think we're concerned about what they do and who they are. We're more concerned about what we do and how we play. And if we take care of business, we should finish the year 11-1. After everything we've seen, especially after last weekend, we should be 11-1, and there should be no doubt about it. I think anything else would be considered a failure at this point. Obviously the Naval Academies are doing well, or the academies are doing well, which helps our strength of schedule, A&M winning. But moving forward, it's just taking 1 week at a time and just finding ways to win. And hopefully over this bye week, you see improvement in a lot of areas that needed it. Hopefully we're able to get some guys healthy. Obviously a couple blows, that were announced yesterday, but that's adversity. I think we talked about, it's not the adversity that defines this team, but it's how they're going to react and handle it defines who they are. So, it's exciting as a Notre Dame fan. You kind of got a break this past weekend from one, stress, but two, able to see Michigan and USC go down in the same weekend, which just makes my tummy happy. But
Yeah.
uh, it's exciting, but like JR said, there's still concerns, and knowing what we know, these concerns most likely didn't get completely solved, if at all.
Right. I really don't think any of them will. I think they're gonna roll out there, and I think they're gonna just be like, everything's fine. Everything we're
We
winning.
are who we are.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna do what our opponent allows us to do, per Marcus Freeman. I mean, I'm just quoting the head coach here, guys. I mean, I'm not making speculations. I am literally quoting our head coach. With that being said, their junior quarterback, Ashton Daniels, he has tossed 633 yards for 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That touchdown to interception ratio, yikes. He has rushed for 250 yards and leads the team in rushing and 0 touchdowns. Last season, I don't know if you guys remember, Stanford had Notre Dame down 16-14 before the Irish just absolutely rolled away with that game. I don't know if you guys were able to even watch that game because it was on the Pac-12 network, and you couldn't watch it unless you either what's it called, hijacked or bootlegged your Fire Stick.
East.
Yeah,
Notre
right.
Dame, please.
Hey, keep that quiet. We don't want people to know about it, Logan.
Notre Dame, please.
Do that, then they take it away. Now we can't watch shit.
Yeah, I'm sure GDR is the reason that's gonna get taken down, not people
If it
streaming.
goes down, a little fugazi happening.
I actually saw a post the other day on somebody was at B-Dubs and they were streaming the Cowboys game because they didn't get it in the local area. They put it on stream. Their freshman running back. They are starting a freshman running back, and Micah Ford, 230 yards this season, still searching for his first rushing touchdown. The Cardinal do have 2 rushing touchdowns as a team. That's kind of a running back by committee there, but none from their quarterback and none from their starting freshman running back. They have thrown for 9 touchdowns with 2 other quarterbacks and a trick play. So Stanford, they're really still trying to find their identity. They've put in another quarterback against Cal Poly. They put in another quarterback against Clemson and Virginia Tech. So not really. Man, their biggest win obviously is a huge win against Syracuse that'll hold Syracuse back because Syracuse looked like a good team last Friday against UNLV on the road. And that's a shame they couldn't take care of business at home against a bad Stanford team. The Cardinal are averaging 23 points per game. Like I mentioned, Dylan, this team is really just still trying to find who they are under I'll say a younger head coach and just really trying to find themselves here.
They do, and they're kind of doing it like us offensively. I don't know if you guys have dug into the box scores any, but that Daniels kid missed last week. He was hurt, so they said he's trending upwards. We'll see how he goes against here. But if you look at the box score against Virginia Tech, their starting quarterback Justin Lamson, 13 completions, 19 rushes. He outran the running back just like we do. So the only difference is we have better players and playmakers that can actually win football games when you do it that way.
Do we?
So Notre Dame, I would like to think so, but it's not hard. The defense probably goes against this kind of offense every single day in practice. So I honestly think, that aside, I think that this could be a shutout win for Notre Dame with how bad this offense is. I don't think, maybe outside of Purdue, I don't think we've played a worse offense in this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be very true. I mean, I look at the statistical things and the numbers, everything you can imagine here before a show. This is a bad team. I've seen how Purdue's trending. I think Purdue is the worst. I don't think we'll play another bad team like Purdue. I mean, they're a mess right now. Stanford is definitely the second worst team on our schedule, and that's a shame because this used to be such a powerful game. On a Notre Dame standpoint, Riley Leonard has tossed for 750 yards. He's rushed for 376, tossed for 3 pass touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 7 rushing touchdowns. I'm sorry, it is never good when your quarterback has more rush touchdowns than pass touchdowns. I'm very sorry. I know touchdowns are touchdowns. He's there to throw the ball. I mean, come on. 3 passing touchdowns. 2 of them came against Louisville. I hate that stat. I absolutely despise that stat. Both quarterbacks for their respective squads lead their team in rushing. Notre Dame is scoring 32 points per game, so arguably on paper, the Irish are 9-point favorites entering this game. There should be no excuses for a slow start and sloppy play coming off of a bye week. I mean, we've seen it though. We've seen it before. Off a bye, Notre Dame drops a game or starts slow, starts sloppy. I mean, we've started a game every single week very, very sloppy. JR, do you think anything changes on Saturday? Can we finally get off to that fast start and put the pedal to the metal?
Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to not put the ball on the floor as soon as we catch it on the punt, on the kickoff, whatever it is. Then you got to put a couple of first downs together and continue that down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, baby steps, Landon. I told you we were going to have some improvements in the Louisville game through the passing attack. We did. High percentage, low risk types of throws. We saw, the long shot over the top to start the game. We saw the well-timed screen. Those are things that we need to continue to see develop. But listen, after what we saw last weekend, every week, every opponent is an interview for us. And not just us, these other teams too. We're all interviewing for, basically 7 spots. So again, it can't go back to Stanford. It's got to remain focused on us. No excuses from here on out. We're a little bit banged up, but we've had time to kind of rest, reshuffle, kind of regroup, maybe move some of our depth around a little bit. But we have to come out, play fast, play physical, all the way, 4-quarter football, all 3 sides. They have a strong wide receiver that is very, very talented, but that plays into our strength. So, let's see how it goes. Right out of the gate, though. Right out of the gate.
Right. Logan, from a coaching standpoint, you have a week off after you've played 5 very physical games. What is your take on a bye week? What are you doing in that bye week?
Ooh. That might be your best question in 2 years. Holy cow, that's a good one. There's a lot, I feel like, and obviously football would be a little different from getting a basketball break, but recruiting would be a big one for me. But as far as team, your current team, obviously you're evaluating everything. Obviously, a lot of your issues going into the week. That's important to make sure that there's accountability between those days. Conversations are had. I hope they had a conversation with Riley Leonard, and this is where you're at right now. This is where you need to be. This is how we're going to get you there. So hopefully there was those types of conversations with some dialogue of, hey, we're nowhere near where we need to be. Definitely there shouldn't be any complacency in that locker room. I think, that Northern Illinois loss will just linger week in and week out for the rest of the year unless we get a playoff win. Obviously there is a huge stain on the white dress shirt. So can't get rid of it. You think you got to accept it and move on, obviously. But for that week, that's huge for me. Anything else would be, I saw that they were able to prep for Navy and Army, throw in some triple option stuff. That was good. Keep a couple steps ahead, but also don't overlook Stanford. And when you have a full week to, kind of realize, okay, hey, we play Army and Navy coming up in this stretch. Let's throw this in, but also let's take care of Stanford and go 1-0 this week. So hopefully Dan Brock had a colorful conversation with Coach Freeman, and the leash is off of Coach Mikey, but we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see what we shall see. This series began in 1925 in the Rose Bowl. It was a 27-10 Notre Dame victory. They stopped playing then until 1988 and then began playing annually in 1997. Lose last year. Notre Dame leads the all-time series 22-14. Last year in Palo Alto, the Irish won it 56-23 in an Audric Estime takeover game.
The other ability, this is in Notre Dame really shortening the game, and Estime is gone. His 4th touchdown of the night.
And the last time Stanford was at Notre Dame Stadium, the Cardinals stunned the Irish 16-14 over a rain of boos in Notre Dame Stadium. One of Freeman's worst losses of the, unfortunately, many we have discussed on the show.
Alpine fires, and that is broken up. Stanford, it is Jonathan McGill making the play, stepping in front of that pass and waving his hand goodbye. This stadium is stunned right now.
These two have had some classic moments throughout the 2010s. The 2012, a goal line stand for the ages in the pouring down rain.
And goal. Taylor. He stopped. Notre Dame wins.
In 2014, you had Everett Golson to Ben Koyak in the back of the corner of the end zone for the win.
Again, 5 receivers against 8 droppers.
They need to get close to the 10-yard line for a first down.
In a buff, Golson going to the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Ben Koyak
delivers with 1:01 left.
And then in 2015, Stanford keeps us out of the playoffs with a miraculous long field goal. The good old Brian Van Gorder prevent defense, baby. Wide open across the middle to get in field goal range.
Green, Hogan, looking, to Just! Whoa! At the 30, ukulele! 9 seconds left, a 26-yard gap. It's up to a senior for Stanford, Conrad Ukropina, for the win.
Here's a little fun fact for you. Brian Kelly was 2-4 at Stanford, 3-2 at home. The Irish started playing them at night in 2016 when Stanford started to become a powerhouse in college football, and they were 1-2 playing Stanford at night, losing 2016 and 2022 and winning in 2018. I think it's absolutely crazy that this game was a top 10 matchup in 2018. It was number 7 Stanford and number 8 Notre Dame under the lights in primetime. We were the game. And now Stanford has just fallen off the face of the earth so badly. Dylan Kearns, keys to the game on Saturday afternoon in Notre Dame Stadium.
Doing 3 of them.
3 keys. Number 1, stay healthy. I don't think we can afford any more injuries. Honestly, I mean, it's getting to the point. We lost Booby last week, and that's not good. That kid was making plays all year. I mean, we're depleted right now when you look at our depth. So we have to stay healthy. That's number 1 in my eyes. Number 2, don't start slow. Come out of the gates and actually play football. You know, we've struggled with that even when we weren't off a bye. So I do fear that a little bit. And number 3, I'm going to keep saying it till he does it consistently. Throw the damn ball. You know, I want to see a passing offense. That's going to be my key until they freaking listen, because my third leg's better than his throwing arm right now. Like, there are serious problems with what he brings to the table with his arm. Like, we joke about it with his touchdown passes and stuff, but I mean, it's out of hand. Hopefully they could find a passing offense. This is a good team to do it against. And then figure out your stride. I do like where they're at right now. But to everyone's points earlier, I think that I don't know, like with this team, there could be one of these instances, like they could lose to Stanford and I would not bat an eye, or
Mhm.
they could blow them out and I wouldn't bat an eye. I just do not know with this team, and hopefully we find some clarity this week.
Right, absolutely. I think we can start penciling in Dylan's key to the game, or at least the third one. Keep throwing the ball, air it out. I think he said that all the way dating back to the Purdue game, week number
Yeah.
3. So, JR, 3 keys to the victory on Saturday afternoon.
You know, adversity kind of presents opportunity early enough in the year for us with some craziness that has gone on our bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of the bye week, I just want to see clean, simple football. Can we tackle? Can we not turn the ball over? Can we execute? Can we manage our timeouts?
Mm-hmm.
Can we make sound, decisions? Logan, I have a question for you. You said earlier in the show you hope Denbrock has a conversation with Freeman and quote, the leash is off Denbrock. What do you mean by that?
To let him call the offense completely and allow Denbrock to put guys in positions to where they're not scared to turn the freaking ball over. That's what I mean. The level of trust there. Like, let's start seeing some things we saw at LSU. Let's start seeing some things we saw when he was at Notre Dame.
Do you think that leash is put on by Freeman, or do you think that leash is put on by our
100%.
personnel and our lack of, like, to Dylan's point, our passing? Because you can clearly see that our quarterback can't throw a 40-yard pass the way that Jaden Daniels can throw a 40-yard pass. So you have to scheme those opportunities to themselves so that Leonard can throw those lob rainbows or those quick screens. He can't operate an offense the way that a pro quarterback would, that can just drop back and read and fire. He can't do that. So
Right.
I think it's a bit of a catch-22. And I kind of think Freeman expects more out of Denbrock, but Denbrock has more of a realistic approach when it comes to the entirety of the offense. And I don't think we can just expect to be able to operate like LSU did, because we don't have those pieces.
I'm not expecting LSU, but I will say I think it is a lazy approach to say we lack the personnel when we have a lot of talent. No, not you, but I to answer your question, I think it's 100% Freeman, because in a Denbrock offense, I don't think Riley rushes more than Jeremiah Love. Hands down, very simple.
Fair.
I
Okay.
think
So my key, I want to see us tackle. How clean, how well do we tackle coming out of a bye week? Because that'll tell you how much of an emphasis we prepared on the fundamentals. And I would expect that preparing for Army and Navy in a bye week, that we would shore that up. I don't want to see any turnovers unless they're aggressive, throwing the ball down the field, a big explosive play. I don't want to see anybody, a bad handoff or somebody putting the ball just trying to run through the crowd. None of that. All right. I can't see any of that. And I want to continue to see the passing game develop I'll go along with you guys, in a Denbrock fashion. I agree with that.
Logan.
My first one is get Riley confidence, and I think it just goes back to what we said. Jeremiah Love, I think, is a huge, huge part of getting Riley confidence when you have a stud running back that's going to make plays for you. So that's my first one. Obviously, I think we're all in the same boat. We want to see the pass game continue to improve, continue to develop. It's not going to be perfect Saturday. Hell, it's not going to be perfect week 12. The second one is take pride. It kind of goes back to what JR said. Just take pride in what you do. At the end of the day, it's a rivalry game. Take pride in, who you're playing for, and take pride in everything that we do Saturday. The third one to me is the most important. I would like to see it be the most physical team. I think going from here on out, physicality's got to be our priority. When you watch USC, they don't like it. When you watch Florida State, they hate physicality. And a lot of these really good teams don't like it. So if we can find a way to make sure that we're the most physical team every Saturday from here on out, I think that will be able to put us in a position to be successful.
I like what you
He
said there about physicality.
he had some interesting comments about Price. I would expect him to get back into the groove of seeing some carries too.
Out of the
I don't.
doghouse.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. Yes.
Yeah, out of the doghouse. My keys to the game is start fast. I mean, outside of the Purdue game, we've started slow every single game. That's 4 out of the 5 games that we have played. We have just started off so slow, either a punt or a field goal or, I mean, a turnover. I mean, geez. Foot on gas. I literally wrote it down. Foot on gas. Don't take it off. You're still fighting for a playoff spot. And if you want to host a game, if you don't want to be that 11 seed and have to go to the 6 seed, which could be which most likely will be an SEC team, you need to win. And you need to win convincingly over these bad teams. TCU beat this team bad. Virginia Tech beat this team bad. A top 10 Clemson team beat this team by 30. Anything less than 30 points is honestly unacceptable to me, especially with how bad of a team this is, especially at our place. Feed Jeremiah Love the ball. RTDB. Run the damn ball. I'm tired of seeing Riley Leonard just run it. Give it to your star running back. I have yet to see anybody who can stop Jeremiah Love when we feed him the ball. Feed the man the ball. He wants it. He can get you so many yards. He can get you points. Give him the ball. Please. Please. I'm begging you. That's my keys to the game. With that being said, week 7 of college football. I am so pumped up for this. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm pissed that I have to watch Notre Dame and Stanford other than these games. I mean, this is a huge week in college football, and I'm going to be stuck watching a mediocre Notre Dame team against a below average Stanford team. Oh, with that being said, our standings on the picks. In first place, myself, 119-30. I'm having myself a year, folks.
It's work, Lando.
JR is in second place with 115-34, chasing a three-peat. Logan is in third place, 112-37, and Dylan made a huge comeback last week. Now 110-39, 2 back from Logan for third place. Dylan back from the dead.
You laughed. You laughed right at my face when I made some of those picks last week. Oh, you're burning your upsets in week 6? It was a good week to pick them, buddy. Look at me, riding high, coming back, little by little.
I'm turning off my camera in embarrassment.
Should be embarrassed by wearing that shit.
Yeah, it's opening day, my man. Opening day.
4:30 puck drop. What's the NHL doing?
ESPN, baby. Anyway, we'll keep the hockey talk to a minimum here. Our prison inmate game of the week. This was hard to pick these games this week because the slate is so loaded. However, me being me, I was able to find 2 prison inmate games of the week for you babies. All right? We'll never be the prison inmate game, by the way. It's just that's not on this show. Ball State.
I knew it.
1-4 at Kent State. 0-5. This is going to be a barn burner, folks. Kent State can't read, can't write. JR, make your pick. This is bad.
Well deserved and very appropriately placed. The P. Diddy special. Landon, I love you, man. I see you. You're starting to I see the backhanded compliments to Indiana. Down there, he's posting pictures with the Hoosier background.
I did see that.
So I'm gonna go with the love bet here. After last weekend, we're gonna carry it on. I'm gonna go Testicle Tech here. I think they're about a touchdown favorite over Kent Reed, Kent Wright, Kent State. I'm not sure where this is gonna be played at. Hopefully, behind barbed wire somewhere.
Where is Kent State in Ohio, JR?
Kent, Ohio, about 40 minutes away from me.
There's so many MAC schools in Ohio.
Just southeast of Cleveland. It's right near Akron.
All right. There's so many MAC schools in Ohio, they all start to blend together. Logan, Ball State at Kent State.
Ball State.
Yeah, Kent State's battle tested. I know I know that they suck, but They played some good freaking team. Remember when they went back to back, went straight up to
Yeah.
Penn State after that? Woo! That kills a team. Give me Ball State.
I mean, yeah, Dylan, they're battle tested, but at what cost? I'll tell you what cost. Like $5 million they got from those schools, but they lost a total of like 110-0. Give me Ball State, chirp chirp in this one. And our last prison inmate game of the week, I was able to find another one, believe it or not. Air Force 1-4 at New Mexico 1-4, 7 p.m. on True TV. This is televised.
Anybody have a spread on this?
I don't even know what conference New Mexico's in. I'm trying to find them.
Logan, I'll get you the spread. It's a Saturday night game, so let me scroll down here. It's going to be at the bottom because it's a late game.
This is pathetic.
Boy. Oh, here we go. New Mexico is favored by 6.5. Dylan, they're in the Mountain West with Air Force.
I just clicked that. There it is.
Oh, 6.5.
What's he under?
I'm gonna
54.5.
54. I'm gonna go under. Air Force played Navy last week. That's a difficult bounce back. New Mexico. Boy, I don't know down there, man. Give me New Mexico, I guess.
I'll ride the wave. Give me Mexico.
Gosh, that quarterback blows. Damn Pierre. 6 touchdowns, 6 picks.
A lot going on. Shalom.
Yeah, I got to take New Mexico.
What's JR do? The Shalom, Logan. There you go. Shalom. That was the best ever. Shalom, Logan. I'm going Air Force here in this one on the road. Man, I'm gonna get burnt, but I'll do it. Air Force. Respect. Shalom. Our non-ranked slate this week is loaded as well. This is gonna be a good game here. A non-power conference too. Coastal 4-1 at James Madison 4-1. Thursday night 7:30 on ESPN2. Little Thursday night football action.
James Madison, bad loss. They were kind of hanging around there trying to maybe sneak in. I'm going to go with them in a bounce back.
Oh.
James Madison bounce back. Give me that one.
Oh. It's a head nod pick. They're favored by 2 scores. This is James Madison.
It is crystal clear that the Chanticleers will win this game. Give me Coastal. Give me Coastal. Coastal goes on the road and beats James Madison. I think not having Kurt Signetti coaching them is starting to catch up a little bit to the Dukes. Give me Coastal. Louisville at Virginia, 3:30 on the ACC network. It's the Notre Dame Bowl.
I knew UVA. That was a dangerous game. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they came back and won, and they did.
They did.
Even with the BC QB coming back, they got out to a quick lead, and they didn't give up another score the rest of the game. I'm not sure what's happened to BC. And Louisville. What's the research here say?
Follow the odds, kid.
What's the spread here? Do we have a line?
7.5 to Louisville.
There you go.
I don't know about that. I can't see Louisville losing 3 in a row, so I'm going to pick Louisville.
Give me the Hillbillies.
As in Louisville?
Yeah.
Okay. There's some in Virginia, too. I'm going with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't see Louisville losing 3 in a row under Jeff Brom. That would be panic button. This is going to be a good game, though. I think UVA puts up a fight at home. Man, only lost to Maryland this year. That was a bad loss. Give me Louisville. I hate to pick Louisville, but give me the Cards.
I think they're a little bit overrated, and their quarterback blows. There's a reason he's like 30 years old, still playing in college.
Right. You also got to keep that in mind as well. If you're that old and playing in college, I know he's not 30, but if you're that old and still playing, something's up. Washington State.
Talking to you, Gabbard.
Washington State at Fresno State, 7 p.m. on FS1. Future Pac-12 opponents, I believe, if Fresno State is leaving the Mountain West, perhaps.
This is a decent, dangerous game. I'm gonna go Wazoo here. Sneaky good non-conference, Lando. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Wazoo.
My gut's telling me to go with the Bulldogs, but I can't because I'm going with the quarterback. Mater, 13-5 on the year. Give me Mater.
Mater Gator. Give me Washington State in this one. Fresno State. I want to pick them. I like the underdog. I like Fresno State. Can't do it. Washington State. That does it for our non-ranked slate. Here is our ranked slate this week. It is absolutely loaded. Number 16, Utah travels to Arizona State Friday night, 10:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Give me the Utes.
Utah. Big.
Whoa. Okay. 3-2-1 Arizona State.
Oh!
They're awful.
The chaos continues.
4-1.
Awful.
4-1. Utah favored by 6.5.
Short week. Hey, the other team's 4-1 too.
Yeah, I know. Arizona State 4-1. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they blow them out. I think Utah wins this game, but I think
4-1's a little fugazi here.
I think
A little fugazi. Let's be easy on beating Wyoming, Mississippi State, who got beat by Toledo by a lot, Texas State, and Kansas. Oh, Charlie Wise. Miss that guy.
Huh?
Good one.
Oh, give me Utah in a close game. South Carolina at number 7, Alabama, 12 p.m. on ABC. South Carolina burnt me. I wish nothing but the worst for Shane Beamer. Nothing but the worst for that guy. Cannot stand him anymore. What a pathetic. He's pathetic.
They're schizo, but look at Bama. What's Bama? They struggled against South Florida now. Maybe that loss or that performance seems to be a little bit
true.
Magnifying. They lost at Vandy, but Vandy's not the typical Vandy. Clark Lee, nice job. I'll go Bama here, though.
Give me the Tad.
Elephants, baby.
Yeah, I like Bama in this one big. The line is 21. I don't think they cover. I think they win it by like 17 or something. I think they blow them out. They're angry. They're going to be mad at this one. I got guys throwing temper tantrums on the field after the game. Oof. They're a mess, but I think they get it done against Shane Beamer's South Carolina team. Get out of here, Shane Beamer. You're pathetic. Number 10, Clemson at Wake Forest, 12 p.m. on ESPN. This is our head nod pick. I hate doing head nod picks in conference play, but Wake Forest, I think Dave Clawson is going to be might be updating that resume here for Wake Forest.
Listen, we head nodded Bama last week, and I said, whoa, maybe that's not such a good idea. We did it anyway, and they lost. So let's not. Stranger things have happened.
They have.
Look no further than ourselves.
It has.
Remember, I said after week 3 the Clemson's making the playoff, and they're on fire.
They are. I think
they're looking a lot better.
Not only are they going to win out, they're going to win the ACC. They're going to win. They're going to host a playoff game. They're going to win a playoff. Oh no, they're not going to host a playoff game if they get that first round bye. I still think they win a playoff game too.
That running back, MFer, he's good.
Phil Maffa absolutely destroyed us. Anyway, I was actually thinking about that coming into the show. I wish we played Clemson every year. I wish that was an ACC opponent that we just play every single year, home and home. I love playing Clemson. Number 21, Missouri, coming off of I think one of the worst losses of the season. They take on UMass on the road, a rare game. Another weak non-conference game for Missouri. Traveling to UMass, 12 p.m. on ESPN2. head nod pick for Coach Drink. We're going to drink it up and all go with Mizzou to, would you even call this a bounce back? I mean, you beat UMass. That's not a bounce.
UMass is one of the worst football programs I've seen in the last 5 years.
We,
They blow.
we've discussed this. They've had like 2-0-12 seasons too, Dylan. I mean, they have blown.
Throw the
Red,
Boilers right there with them.
what?
Throw the Boilers right there with them.
Oh, dude, they're a mess. The Red River rivalry. Yes, JR, it is still being played. The All-State Red River rivalry in the Cotton Bowl. Number 1 Texas versus number 18 Oklahoma. 3:30 on ABC.
Texas.
Texas.
Longhorns, big. Is Ewers playing?
He should be. He should be back. I would be surprised if he is not back. He has had about 3 weeks, I think, to get ready and get healthy. Obviously, don't want to rush him into anything because he is a phenomenal quarterback. Would hate to see him ruin his career by rushing anything. This is weird. This game is being played at 3:30. This is usually a nooner. It's going to be weird right here. 3:30. Give me Texas to cover the 14.5 spread. Oklahoma is terrible. Venables is a terrible head coach. He's a great, some people are just better coordinators than they are head coaches, Marcus. Moving along here, number 4, Penn State at USC. 3:30 p.m. on CBS. Hey, USC, you're not in the Pac-12 anymore. This is called the real conference, Big Ten. You play teams weekly now. Good teams weekly.
I can't wait to hear JR on this one. There's a lot of baby oil involved here.
Easy, hey, keep it PG if you
can.
PG-13. Keep it PG.
Trojan Man versus Tickle Me Sandusky in the Rose Bowl. I mean, they might as well just put this game in Diddy's apartment in New York City because they all belong in the fun house, if you ask me. Send them all to Rikers. We talked about USC, Trojan Man going into places like Minnesota last week.
Right.
But we thought it was early enough in the year where they really wouldn't have to deal with those kind of elements. So maybe Minnesota's better than what we thought. But the same thing goes for Penn State going to USC. What's the temperature going to be out there? Like, are they going to go James Franklin, he's no wizard on the road here. Are they going to go out there and wilt? It's 4.5. I could easily see USC winning this game. 100%. In fact, I think I'm going to pick them. I'm going to go Trojan Man to conquer Tickle Me Sandusky. I think he's a little bit more protected with a little bit better weaponry. Yeah, I like USC and Lincoln Riley here at home. I don't have a lot of faith in Franklin here. I'm going to go USC in a bit of an upset.
Yeah. Be a major upset, yeah.
Yeah, it is a must-win for SC. However, Lincoln Riley gets tickled. Give me the Nittany Lions.
That's a good game for you guys to kind of, second and third place, split the D, see what happens there. I don't like James Franklin on the road. Like, to your guys' point, this is like, I don't want to say like a career-defining game because he's obviously been there a while and he's lost a lot of big road games. But if he wins this, do we start giving Penn State some respect?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And a lot of history between these two programs, too.
A lot of Rose Bowl history. A lot of Rose Bowl history, obviously.
Great game. Good games.
Yeah.
But, he's got Tom Allen now, so.
What's crazy is if you open up the ESPN app and look at like the spread and stuff, the spread is Penn State, but it says % to win and it goes to USC. I've never seen that before. Give me USC.
Interesting. Dylan, JR, you mentioned Tom Allen. There's another coordinator who is a phenomenal coordinator, but is not a good head coach. There is so many coordinators who are head coaches who should not be head coaches. Unfortunately, we have one of them. Listen, Penn State going on the road. I saw James Franklin on Twitter the other day. or yesterday in his presser. They have to leave on Thursday morning. They have to leave Thursday because the runway in Happy Valley is not long enough to take off. They don't have enough fuel on their planes. They have to go to Harrisburg, or I think Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
that's where they have to fly out of. Then they have to take a bus to LA, a bus into LA. It's about an hour and a half LA bus ride, I think. They're not going directly into LA. They won't get there, and it's a 5.5 hour flight. It's a 2 hour ride to Harrisburg. That's a 7.5 hour day. 8, you got to get there early. You're spending an entire day on the plane. You could be practicing. This is tricky. Welcome to the Big Ten, folks. Welcome to the new era of the Big Ten. What's basketball season going to be like? Give me Penn State on the road, though. USC. I'll tell you, they're depleted. They just lost to Minnesota. They just got road. Man, I think they quit. I think they quit on Lincoln Riley. They're going to quit on this guy. They're going to quit on this fraud. He's a fraud. Al at number 22, Pitt. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Oh, God, he turned off his camera. This is not good. Cal at number 22, Pitt. Pitt's 5-0 for the first time in a long time.
I'm cussing you out right now.
In his chow voice. Go ahead, JR.
Cal at Pitt. Boy, this is a sneaky good game. And Cal, they should be feeling great. Instead, they kind of got robbed a little bit. Pitt undefeated. I'm going to go Cal.
Ooh. Wow.
Give me Pitt. I don't see how Cal bounces back after that.
Tough loss. You got to think across the country. Don't like it. Give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, guys, Pitt beat North Carolina last week. They struggled, though. I was able to catch some of the highlights. They rolled them on ESPN. They did not look good. They took a couple interceptions to beat North Carolina. Cal should be 4-1 right now. They lost to another opponent, Florida State. There you go. They lost to Florida State and now Miami. They had the world on them. I mean, they hosted College Game Day for the first time. Place was rocking in Berkeley. They were up 25. Their world came crashing down. Their world's going to come crashing down even more.
Did you see that targeting call?
Yes. The no targeting call.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Give me Pittsburgh to win this game at home. I think Cal goes in a downward spiral from here. Purdue at number 23, Illinois, 3:30 p.m. on FS1. The spread is -20. Does Illinois cover and does Purdue score a touchdown?
And nod.
Well, yeah, I know. Illinois is going to win.
For a touchdown? Yes.
Oh, they could score a touchdown. We're all going with the Fighting Illini. Are they called? Yeah, Fighting Illini. Arizona at number 14, BYU, 4 p.m. on Fox. This is a big game in the Big 12.
This is a big game, and it's a sneaky good game.
I told you the slate is loaded, minus a couple.
Yeah, great game. And a lot of tweeners. Just Penn State, USC, Cal, Pitt, and they have a lot of implications.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for BYU to kind of fall apart, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to pick them because they're at home. Give me the
Mormons.
Logan?
Mormons.
Oh, gosh, I hate undefeated teams. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
One of them.
Well, the thing is like there's only so many that can go undefeated, and where do they get trapped? That's
right.
Where do they get trapped? I'm gonna ride. Yeah, I got to go BYU. The quarterback sucks. I hate bad quarterback play too. We got that too.
Yeah, Dylan is like the anti-bad quarterback play. He's had
I do. It
Gabbert, and Riley Leonard. This goes back to all the way to 2020 and the Dylan and Landon days. Man, the Mormons. I am big on these Mormons right now. They're number 14 in the country. They're undefeated. Arizona just came off of a good. I think it'll turn out to be a good loss because Texas Tech isn't a bad team, in my opinion. However, I think they were the better team. Arizona should have won that game at home. Give me the Mormons at home. This is going to be a good game. The spread is 4.5 towards BYU. Whew, good game. I'm in love with the Mormons. Mississippi State at number 5, Georgia, 4:15 on the SEC network. Sorry about it, Brandon Walker. It's a head nod pick. Going with the Dogs. Florida.
Real quick,
Go
can
ahead.
I? I'm surprised you didn't include Vandy and Kentucky in the unranked game, part of the unranked game slate. Is one of those teams ranked?
No.
Or no? No?
I thought about it, but I did not pick that.
That's a good unranked game.
Yeah.
Well, it's decent, but
it is, but
I think we would all pick Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Yes, I would have picked Kentucky.
Yeah.
When I pick these non-ranked games, I look at the trajectory of the future. You know, Washington State, Fresno State, that could be a potential future conference game. James Madison Coastal, those two could meet in the Sun Belt. Yeah. Vanderbilt and Kentucky, what's that? I mean,
it's not
a feel-good. It's a feel-good game. Where was I here? Oh, Florida at number 8, Tennessee. Hey, Florida. Surprisingly, above 500 at this point in the season at 3-2, 1-1 to the SEC, traveling to Knoxville after a tough loss to the Hogs.
Yeah, they're going to want to turn around once they get there. Tennessee.
Balls.
All right, this could have been a head nod pick as well. Rocky Top rolls.
Heupel's going to bounce back.
Who?
He's not going to take it for a loss.
Yeah. That was a terrible final play for Tennessee last week. I mean, that was bad.
They were up 14-3.
They were. I turned it off. I turned it over on my iPad to another game. I was watching Michigan and Washington on the TV, and I had another game on my iPad, and then I switched back and forth. Number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Oregon, 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Folks, I cannot even begin to describe the magnitude of this ball game. I mean, it's a big game. Game of the year, folks. Forget Georgia, Alabama. This is the game of the year.
If you add these two up, you still get 0. Ohio State's favored.
They are on the road.
Field goal. I don't really quite understand that big of a line. So as much as I hate to do it, because there just seems to be something a little off about Oregon, not Oregon, although they might be gone after this weekend. Yeah, give me the Bucks.
Give me Ohio State.
Ohio State big. Oregon won't compete. They'll compete for a half.
Yeah, man. Oregon, they're 5-0. I think they're a little fugazi 5-0. They have not impressed me this year like I thought they would. In my preseason top 25, I had them I think I had them in the top 5. They have dropped every single week since then. Do the math. I don't think they're the number 3 team in the country. I really do not. I like Ohio State in this one. I do think Oregon battles at home. That place is an underrated stadium. It gets so freaking loud in there, guys.
They very well could win. Let's not forget this is Ohio State's first road game, I think, of the year after, I don't know, half of the season. They're finally going to go, play somebody that's got some chutzpah besides
they went to Michigan State.
Half of the squad.
That's right.
So what's that?
They did go to Michigan State.
Michigan State. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was a sellout crowd too, so you can't really hate on them for that either. That was a good crowd.
They are playing Michigan State too. Let's not forget what they're like.
Right.
So
conference.
And you could add those two schools up, and it would equal 0 too.
I don't really hold conference play to anybody's disadvantage or advantage.
They have track. Okay, fair point.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, that place can get loud. I would not be surprised if Oregon Oregon win. Exactly. Long trip. And it's a conference trip too. You got to remember that too. So this is
Don't forget Chip Kelly's going home too. So there's a little bit of that going on.
I do think Ohio State or Oregon has the better coach at the end of the day, Dan Lanning. Fake tough guy Ryan Day. I think Dan Lanning is better than Ryan Day.
I mean, Dan Lanning's got some warts on his resume.
He does, but I like Dan Lanning.
Logan, you agreement with that?
With Landon?
Yeah.
He's never in agreement with me. Come on.
You don't
honest here.
Dylan, do you agree that Dan Lanning and Ryan Day?
They were going at it. I was scared to say Lincoln Riley's probably a top 5 head coach, but I was going to just be reserved. Didn't want to get involved in that one.
I knew I wasn't an idiot.
Wow. Well,
no. I think Day does a good job. I think they're playing pissed off. They look good.
They can play pissed off all they want. They got to start winning some games.
Yeah, they do. All they do is win games.
Hard to win, Lando.
That's not what I mean, Dylan. They can beat Iowa. They
beat Notre Dame twice.
Yes, what I mean is they got to win a playoff game under Ryan Day. That's expected in Columbus. I hate to say it, but
they were a shot and a field goal away from a national championship.
Did they make it? Did they make it?
No, but they outplayed the freaking Dogs that day.
Did they win?
Okay.
It's so easy to win a natty, according to Lando.
Yeah, Lando's like, put me on the sideline. I'm going to go 12-0 with the Irish.
Yeah. Shit.
I'm just saying.
Celtic camp, baby. Here we go.
The expectations in USC and Ohio State is national championships. If you can't do it, don't.
He's in a position to win them every year.
But does he?
Jeez Louise.
Lost to the national champions last year.
Number 9, Ole Miss. So Logan just admitted that they're the national champs.
They are.
You can't have it both ways, Logan.
What do you mean?
Did he ever not?
You have depleted, said they stole the national championship, called them cheaters, called them everything in the book.
They hated Fugazi cheeseburgers, but they are the national champions.
Okay, thank you.
Don't deflect. We're talking about Ryan Day here. We're not talking about the cheeseburger paradise.
Big game here in the SEC. Both these squads. Number 9, Ole Miss at number 13, LSU, 7:30 on ABC.
Another line that seems to not make sense to me. Ole Miss, very nice rebound win. But maybe I'm going BK. I'm going to have it my way.
Is Lane Train better than Lincoln Riley?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Give me the Lane Train.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ole Miss. This is a BK punching the podium kind of day.
Interesting. I disagree. I don't think LSU drops this one at home. BK has always played very good at home.
They're dogs at home. BK is pretty good as a dog at home, I think.
At home. That's the key there. He won at Notre Dame when he was a dog at home. He wins at LSU as a home dog. Give me LSU in Death Valley to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss eliminated from the playoff race. Number 11, Iowa State at West Virginia, 8 p.m. on Fox.
Watch out here. Watch out. West Virginia, decent road. Went into the Pokeville and got it done. This is a chance for West Virginia to, completely rewrite their season.
Yes.
An 8:00 game going into West Virginia. Woo, man.
Just pick the Cyclones.
Yeah, give me Iowa State. I think West Virginia is going to win, though.
The bobblehead staring you down over there got scared.
I think West Virginia is going to win this game, but I'm going to pick Iowa State.
I'm going Cyclones.
That doesn't make any sense, JR. If you think you're going to win, you pick them to win.
I know. Well, sometimes you got to play a little defense, Dylan.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to play defense.
He's fighting for wins here, man.
I'd say it was a physical game against Oklahoma State, but they blew them out the waters. Like, It's no longer one of those like, oh, you fought to the end. Now they're going to be tired the next week. I think they're fine. And I think they have another big opponent in Iowa State. West Virginia, they're going to be ranked after this win.
They very well could be. The two losses, one of them was to Penn State in week 1 after like a 30, 45-minute delay after the rain and weather they had there in West Virginia. Iowa State comes in, they're riding high, 5-0 for the first time in a long time, number 11 in the polls, highest they've been in a long time. Take me home, country roads. Give me West Virginia. I picked them to beat Penn State earlier in the year. They burnt me. Have not picked them since. Gotta redeem yourself here. Here's your chance. Give me the Mountaineers against the Cyclones. Number 18, Kansas State at Colorado, 10:15 p.m. on ESPN.
I mean, it's another doozy with a lot riding on the line. K-State went on the road where and got like housed. Oklahoma State did they go to and got housed?
Beat the crap out of Oklahoma State.
They
BYU.
BYU.
Ew.
Thank you, Dylan.
This is another defense game. I'm going to pick K-State, but I wouldn't be shocked if Prime Time Trailer showed up and they won a game.
Prime or Lincoln Riley, Landon?
Lincoln Riley.
Okay. All right. Give me Prime.
We got JR in shambles over there. He's picking the team that thinks he's going to win twice in a row. That said, grab the wrist, fellas. It's prime time, baby. Woo! Let's ride it.
I like Colorado. I like Prime at home in this ball game. I like Prime to win this and jump into the top 15 of the AP poll. That one loss to Nebraska on the road won't look so bad, especially when Nebraska rolls into Bloomington, I think. Number 17, Boise State at Hawaii, 11 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network. Boise State is definitely going to be that 12 seed unless they get in their own way. Boise State in a blowout. Stanford at number 11, Notre Dame, 3:30 p.m. on NBC. Quickly here, fellas, score.
You know, Stanford's important to go to the West Coast when we're not off years with USC. Notre Dame, 43, Stanford, 12.
You always have the wackiest scores.
Can't be objective.
Right.
Notre Dame 31, Stanford 3.
Oh, that was my original take. Yeah, but then I thought about a second option, which I'm going to go 34-10 Notre Dame. I think they were a little slow out of the gates. They could sneak in a score, and then we'll just cruise.
You've got to be kidding me. Dylan, I write down my scores on Monday nights when I prep for the show. You've got to be kidding me right now. I literally have Notre Dame 34-10 in this ball game. This could be the last time these two meet in a while. If you look on the schedule for next year, all of our rivalry games are already scheduled. Navy, USC, Pitt, all of our other games are scheduled. Stanford is not on the schedule next season so far. Unless they add them late like we did Army, I don't think this game continues to be played due to two reasons. Stanford joining the ACC and the irrelevancy of the Stanford Cardinal. With that being said, Notre Dame wins it 34-10. Thank you for watching. As always, be sure to like and subscribe. Logan is not objective. Thank you for that comment, by the way. Made my day, made me laugh. So, Notre Dame takes on Stanford 3:30 p.m. on NBC. We will see you all next Monday to recap what should be a victorious Irish show. Go Irish, folks.